Alright, good guys. We actually got feedback from different places in the world that the sound is coming through loud and clear. Welcome to this VIP live broadcast. I'm speaking to you from Vilamora, which is the southernmost and westernmost part of Europe. It's about as south as you can go in Europe and about as west as you can go. And one of the prettiest places probably in the Algarve is no doubt Vilamora. The blue line that you can see in the background at the horizon, the dark blue line, is the ocean line. And in the very back you can actually see the Tivoli Hotel, which I know that many of you have visited if you were here in the Algarve, if you were here in Vilamora. It's the big hotel right by the marina where all the boats are at. Here, much closer by, it is also a Tivoli Hotel. This is the Tivoli Victoria, and there is a story I want to share about this hotel here. Actually, both hotels. They were recently sold. Before, they were owned by one of the largest banks in Portugal, and the bank screwed up and went bankrupt, as many other banks. And so the hotels kind of sat in limbo. They didn't know what was going to happen. Well, there is a gentleman from Thailand who has purchased all of the hotels, all the Tivoli hotels. And he's actually American born, but then moved to Thailand at a very young age. And he started, now imagine this, because we're going to be talking about the master key system, about how to manifest things in your life. Imagine this hotel, along with 12 other ones, even 2 in Brazil, were purchased for $310 million. And all of this started with a gentleman of 17 years old who borrowed $1,500 from a friend. $1,500 is the beginning of all of this, what you see behind me here. And his name is Mr. Heineke, like the beer but without the N. Mr. Heineke is moved to Thailand. He was 17 years old. That's why his company is called Mint on the stock exchange. Minor International. Mint. M-I-N-T. Minor International, because he was a minor when he started his company. And he started because he wanted to get into advertising. And he needed $1,500, borrowed it from a friend, began his company, built it out over a period of time, and eventually sold it successfully to Ogilvy. And Ogilvy is one of the biggest giants in the advertising industry. He sold his company successfully. He then began to reinvest that money into restaurants, Burger Kings and Pizza Huts. Well, he today owns 1,700 restaurants. He owns over 300 stores like the Gap and many of the other franchise stores. He also owns over 100 hotels, and he had wanted to get into Europe, and he decided, well, this is a great location to put my foot into the market in Europe. And he purchased actually the hotels for 260 million, and then added another 50 million for renovations on top. So not only will we see these hotels really transform into very, very well run, well managed hotels, guess what? I'm speaking to you from VIP headquarters. Yes, we're right in front of this magnificent hotel. I'll make sure under the video that there is going to be a whole bunch of links of everything I talk about Mr. Heineke, about this hotel, about Vilamora, because guess if we have live events, we're right there in our garden, one of the most magnificent lecture halls, seminar halls. Right behind it is the Victoria Golf Course. Next week, and I'll also put a link for this as soon as we have it. Next week, right here, is the Portugal Masters. And the Portugal Masters is one of the very famous golf tournaments in the world. And you will actually see this region, but mostly from behind the hotel, naturally all the golf activity being broadcasted all throughout the world. So anyways, this is a region we're minutes away from the horse terrain where they do horse championships. We're right there, we've got a marina. Anyways, we're living in a paradise, and the exciting part is somehow after 2.5 years of very careful planning, and actually a lot of times where it didn't even look it was going to happen, we've now been able to solidify that VIP will be able to function right here from this region. Typically, if you're an internet company, you need to go to a big city. You'd go to Brussels, you go to Chicago, you go to Los Angeles or San Francisco in order to get to the good internet, naturally. And the instead, what has happened is we've managed to do the impossible, really, to get an internet connection. I'm actually speaking to you having 1,000 megabits streaming down on us, and with a capacity to send 1,000 megabits back out. For those of you who are watching on YouTube and can actually switch to a 1080p, the resolution, you will see how wonderful a resolution that we were able to transmit with. And this is just a test resolution. We're fully equipped to be beaming out in 4K, which is still 16 times more powerful, better resolution than the 4K. So actually delighted. I've got two of my close friends and associates here with me. I'm watching at myself with a little bit of delay, talking on one of the Microsoft Surface computers. As a matter of fact, Miguel, who's standing behind the camera, is one of the great photographers of the Algarve. He also will be involved with the golf event to do some photographing there. Anyways, he's a video master, and I'm delighted. I'm surrounded with people who are geniuses in their field. We never have anything that goes wrong, do we, Miguel? We'll talk about that in the next video. Okay, so you know where we're at. Here, what is VIP? For those of you who are watching us maybe for the first time, and you've heard maybe something about the VIP, what is the VIP? The VIP is an online university. Now, what makes it unique? Because we already have many online universities in the world, don't we? As a matter of fact, there is definitely no lack of universities in the world. Universities naturally are part of the entire industry called education, and education where travel is a gigantic industry. The hotels and the airlines and all the things, rental cars, all the things involved in travel is a $7 trillion industry. Well, guess what? Education is too. And yet, most of the education is in the hands of either government on one side or religion on the other side. So 90% of that $7 trillion per year flows into the pockets of the state or the church. We have about 10% of the universities where a group of private investors generally, they form the shareholders of the university, and then that's where the money goes to in that case, in case of private universities. Well, in VIP, we are the very first university in the world that is actually paying the student to study. Think about that. Going to a university where, yes, you still need to buy credits, you need to purchase credits to attend your classes, but then you begin to get paid on those credits, because the credits not only are a value that allows you to attend classes, but at the same time They're a value that serve almost like shares, like stocks in so you're almost like a co-owner of the university, and you end up profiting on all the overall growth of the university. What else makes VIP unique? Well, we have chosen not to duplicate what typical conventional universities do. We're not handing out diplomas, so therefore we don't need to mess around with tests. We actually focus solely on courses that are of high benefit, high value, and especially that are efficient, that are useful to be applied immediately. So it really is in universities, and I've personally had the privilege, on one hand, the privilege, but on the other hand also a bit the agony of going to and through many different universities. I don't say this to brag, just as a matter of sort of reference. I have spent, and this is a figure that was calculated more than 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago, that my accountant in Belgium told me that I already had spent over €1 million in education on myself. I'm sure that number has grown to probably about 1.5 million by now, because I sure as heck haven't stopped buying courses and classes and seminars and videos and anything. My brain is like a sponge. I just want to take it up. Well, that is part of the reason why we've come up with the VIP system, is to make sure, because I know all too well that there isn't too many people in the world that have $1.5 million at their disposal to go to universities and buy classes and sit for years on the school benches trying to absorb education with actually no guarantee that you're going to be able to use it afterwards. That's the big challenge that we got. Students today, they come out with a nice diploma, but that isn't offering them any guarantee or even solution for them to get a job. Too many people are sitting with diplomas that they cannot even use. So with VIP, we're not going to do that diploma deal. We're going to make sure that every class, and I hope even this video today is a little bit of that you're going to hear a couple things and you're going to say, you know what, that makes sense, and I can use that. I can tomorrow or next week in my day-to-day life, I can apply that and actually bring it to my benefit. So here we are, 20 months old, because we started on March 2015. Yes, we've had allowed students to enroll. We've actually paid students on a daily basis, 5 days a week, on their shares, on their credits. Any withdrawals that they've submitted, we have paid out. There isn't a single withdrawal outstanding. Of course, most people don't want to get rid of their credits because they know all too well this is like owning the initial stock in Facebook. When you get that, you don't want to just begin to milk the cow before the cow has even come to full fruition. And this isn't going to be a cow. This is going to be a pasture full of juicy milk cows, and it needs time. The VIP team is not a program to run for a couple of years, not even for 10 or 20 years. I want VIP to be around long after I've put my head down, so that our children, our grandchildren can continue to benefit from a revolutionary new approach to education. The reality is that this right here, the cell phone, actually that's a university that you carry in your pocket. Or whether it's a pad, or whether it's your television at home, or whether it's a TV screen built into your car or into your refrigerator. Right there, you'll be able to catch our university educational signal, and at your convenience, at the time that is appropriate for you, you will be able to pick your classes, and you may be sitting on the toilet and using, the few minutes there to catch up on something, or at night or in the weekend. You get to choose. I think we have a great concept. We've tested now all the software in terms of the economics, and it works flawlessly. Now we're ready to start with the live classes. And before I share on the classes, there is something else that I would like to share, is why. Why? And the guys here working with me, they know that sometimes I go, why am I even bothering with all these headaches? Because running a company, constructing a company, does create a lot of headaches. Well, usually the why behind the revolutionary, innovative project is because there is a vision and there is a passion. Let me share you what is one of my sort of electricity sources that gives me the passion to do what I want to do. You've heard of the cars Fiat, the cars, the Italian car company who owns Chrysler, who owns Maserati, may even own Lamborghini, I'm not sure. They own a whole bunch of the cars today. Well, the Agnelli family is the owners of the Fiat company. And the Agnelli family is one of the wealthiest families in the world. They make Bill Gates and Warren Buffett look like socially deprived or financially deprived individuals. This is way beyond billionaires. Some of the truly wealthiest people, I don't know if they're into the trillions of dollars, I don't know that, but I know they're extremely, extremely wealthy. This family became very concerned about the circumstances of how we're living on Earth today. They saw that we're screwing up a lot of the things. We're polluting our body, we're polluting our environment, we're doing many things that brings into question how much longer can we do this? So they wanted an answer to this. And guess what they did? They went to the Mecca of intelligence, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And they actually signed an agreement which had never and has never been signed ever since, which was a carte blanche sponsorship. Carte blanche meaning it didn't make any difference how much it cost, because they wanted to get an answer to the following question. How much longer, how many more years does mankind have here on Earth to live? Instruction was hire the best scientists, buy the best computers, launch the best satellites, whatever you got to do, it makes no difference. What it costs, we're willing to pay for it. And guess what? They were willing to pay for it for 10 years. The study started in 1980, all the way went to 1990. In 1990 they were supposed to give the conclusive answer. So the date comes, the family is coming together, the scientists have buildings full with findings, but of course it all needs to be boiled down to a chronological conclusion. How much longer? Well, the scientists were a bit ashamed, and they immediately apologized because they said, listen, we must have made mistakes, because you will find our answer way too radical, and we don't even really believe the answer ourselves, but it is to the best of our ability what we know to be the answer. And the answer to the question, how much longer do we get to live on our Earth? Answer from the scientists was 2034. Did you hear me, guys? I'm not saying 3034, I'm not saying 7034 or 13,034. No. We're in 2016. They're saying by 2034, or at least their findings were showing in 1990 that guaranteed human life would become impossible. Not enough oxygen, too much bacteria, not any antibiotica to fight the bacteria. In other words, life on Earth finished, impossible. Once again, they said, listen, we must have made mistakes. There is no way, that sounds way too radical. It almost sounds like a religious ranting. Well, the family thanked for the findings, was not upset that they said that they must have made mistakes. They said, listen, we're humans. Even machines are made by human hands. Here is what we're going to do. We're going to grant you another 10 years to go ahead and spend once again all the money you need. Now we have better computers, we have better satellites, we have better scientists. Go hire as many of them as you wish. for another 10 years and then come back in 2000 and give us the new answer, the new findings, and that way we can get a little correction on that date. Hopefully, I'm sure they were hoping that it would be moved up into the future a little bit. Well, guess what? In 2000, once again, conclusion time. Here is what the scientists had to say. Our findings show we have not made any mistakes. We're right on schedule. We're right on target. So 2034, according to the smartest people, now keep in mind, this is not religion, this is not politics, this is not somebody trying to sell something like, how bunkers under the ocean or whatever. No, this is pure factual findings. Now, my professor, who was privy to the results, says the following. The study no doubt is undisputably showing that we have fantastically well screwed up our Earth, nearly to the level of distinction. However, we as mankind, when we study history and we look at previous civilizations, we tend to only wake up on the last minute. That's kind of when we bring out the best of our capacities, when we have nearly death as a threat. Maybe that's why they call it a deadline, right? So here we are, folks. You wonder why I'm motivated and inspired, and even when I don't feel like it, I still am pushed to want to move forward with the VIP. It's because I know the clock is ticking. We really do not have the luxury of endlessly splurging away with the resources of Earth, blindly polluting. I mean, come on. Not only for us, but our children, their children, they need a place to live in too, don't they? Well, guess what? We have to change. My little field is going to be in two areas where I'm going to do my contribution to bring and provoke change, not only in my own life, but in the life of as many people as I can reach. It is in the field of education, because I believe all good changes happen with better information, and especially understanding the information and then being able to use it to implement it. And then we're also going to focus that around health, because that's my background, natural health. Health of the mind, health of the body, health of our emotions, of our feelings. Probably the highest asset on earth, isn't it? I had a saying in my clinic in Belgium, which was, health isn't everything, but everything is nothing without health. Think about that one. So, quickly, a couple words about why you see me meddle in what seems like politics. You see me do posts on Donald Trump, you see me do posts on Hillary Clinton, and whoever has been following me probably kind of knows I don't like one of those two candidates. I'll let you go to my Facebook and become one of my friends, and you'll get my raw opinion of what's going on there. You know what? I'm not interested in politics. As a matter of fact, most of the time when I hear politicians, I have to switch the TV off. I can't stand listening to the lies. And yet I found myself drawn to the American elections, because I don't believe these are just American elections. I believe they represent an awakening in mankind that allows us as human beings to make a decision. Are we going to continue the same old, which is basically corruption in politics? Politicians are so corrupt. It's would you trust politicians with your money? Would you trust politicians with your children? So, here we have elections that sort of on one side we can choose for a guy who wants to change it and wants to bring common sense back into leadership, into politics if you wish, but really wants America to get back on its feet. The other person is somebody who's bought by all these special interests groups, but who is purchased by the global banks, by the globalists, who basically, you know what they want? One government. Isn't that what Hitler wanted? Isn't that what Napoleon Bonaparte wanted? Isn't that what Julius Caesar was dreaming about? I want to become the emperor of the entire world. We know how that has ended. In a lot of misery. That is insane. America is not to rule the entire world. America is to get along. I hope and I pray that right now all this instigation towards a war in Syria, where they're trying to prove that the Russians want a war. Listen to Putin. He doesn't want a war. He wants to avoid a war as much as Donald Trump and anybody else. I mean, who wants a war right now? A war would be a disaster for the world. Anyways, I don't want to talk politics, but the reason that I've been drawn to all of this is because for me this is not politics. It's what I call it's socio-economics, or it's sociology, which basically means how we live together as a society, and it's economics in terms of how all of that will influence our financial futures and our well-being in the future. So is that related to VIP? I think that is very related to VIP. Just to put it in perspective, both my grandfathers told me, don't talk about religion and don't talk about politics in your business. So I know how to respect that, and if what I say upsets a few people, clearly this video is not to be politically correct. This video is to explain a little bit about me, where I'm at, what I'm passionate about, and I'm not a doomsday thinker. I don't think the world is up for grabs. I believe that we as mankind actually now, under the pressure of having to, can actually rise to a much, much higher potential. And we can begin to use much more of our brain capacity, much more of our natural capacity in our human body. And for sure, VIP has to be a provider of that kind of information, that kind of education. So we're looking at VIP being a more efficient university where you can learn and study things faster, where you can learn them for less money. Actually, why not get paid while you study? And that you can have a lot more fun. The first class that we're beginning with in the next couple weeks, now that we have that internet and all this wonderful technology, one of these days we'll take a shot of all the wires and the cables and the microphones and all of this. Today we wanted you to see a little bit of the beautiful nature of the Algarve and the paradise-like place that we actually get to work in. We're going to begin with the Master Key system. Now, there is 1,000 different subjects or 1,000 different courses that I could have started with, and in the future we will have many different classes. But why the Master Key system? Well, I believe it's a masterpiece of, if we're talking about efficiency, how would you like the ABCs on how to make anything happen in your life you wish? You know, it's a little bit like, I don't know if any of you know how to make mayonnaise. For mayonnaise you need a certain set of ingredients. You need the yellow of the eggs, you need the mustard, you need the pepper and the salt, you need an oil, sunflower oil, and then you need some vinegar. If you have that, you have the ingredients. Those are the correct ingredients. You miss one of those ingredients, you're not going to have mayonnaise. Besides the correct ingredients, you need the correct order on how to apply and bring together those ingredients. Well, guess what? If you have the correct ingredients, if you follow the order, and yeah, we'll do a class on how to make mayonnaise. I'll get you to film that one, Miguel, okay?
Okay.
And we'll get Carlo to do the swinging of the eggs. But in the same way, if you have the correct ingredients, if you have the correct order, guess what? You always end up with mayonnaise. It's only if you do it wrong you may end up with vinaigrette, or you may end up with something that doesn't even look like mayonnaise. So it is with the capacity to create things, with the capacity to construct things, with the capacity to manifest things. People like Bill Gates, people like Thomas Edison, people like Henry Ford, Those are all people who have taken the Master Key System and they have followed the menu. They know the ingredients. There is 7 principal ingredients you need in order to make things happen. And then you need to apply them in the correct order. As a matter of fact, the drink would be wonderful, yes. I am not only in a wonderfully hot climate here. Cheers. This is on the success of VIP. I hope you have a drink standing by wherever you sit. And I cheer to your health and to the health of VIP. Thank you very much. That was like an angel. The Master Key System is the course that teaches you these ABCs. It was written in 1912 by Charles Hanel. He charged the equivalent of $75,000 for the course. It was $1,200 to $1,500. It was sold in 24 chapters. You would only get 1 chapter at a time. You had to spend at least a week per chapter. We're going to spend a bit more because we're going to go deeper this time. And we're not going to charge $75,000. We're going to charge $24,000. It's to say $1,000 per class, per chapter. Every chapter will be about 5 to 10 classes, where this will give us the time to read it together, to listen to it, but then to analyze it. What is he saying here in this paragraph? What is he saying in this sentence? Why is he using this word? What does this word mean? All of which will result into people understanding the Master Key System better than than it's ever been understood. Oh, there is a lot of people they've watched the movie The Secret, or they may have even glanced, or they may have even read the Master Key System. They have no clue what's in there. It took me more than 200 readings of the Master Key System to begin to realize that I only knew a tiny little bit about the Master Key System. I was just beginning to wake up. Well, now I can use this experience and this knowledge to accelerate and make it easier for you guys. We're going to be bringing some of the most advanced techniques to make sure that you really, really get it. We're not going to make it difficult, we're going to make it simple, but not simplified beyond the essence. We're going to make sure you get the essential pieces, but that you can apply it. See, the most important part is that not only that you come to know the Master Key System and the 7 principles, but that you're able to apply them into your day-to-day life. So that will involve the course, the $24,000 course. Naturally, you get 20% commission on that for anybody you refer, and that means $4,800 commission. That's nice, huh? You get 5 people you introduce, and it ends up paying for your entire course. And each of the 5 people can do the same. If they have difficulty affording the course, simply introduce people who can afford it. Ask yourself the question, is $24,000 worth it? Could you buy an apartment with $24,000? Not really. Could you buy a car? Well, I guess you could. There is a few cars that only cost $25,000, but how much would it be worth to actually purchase a course with which time and time and time again you can create, you can attract anything you wish, in levels of material, in terms of wealth, in terms of health, in terms of relationships, in terms of new solutions in the world. Right there is your ticket, and we're going to be teaching that. So we'll teach the entire course over somewhere between 150 to 250 live classes are all going to be included in that fee. You're going to get some of the most advanced technologies, even meditations, even brain technologies, to help you really fully understand it fast, understand it deep, and be motivated and inspired to apply it. So it will also involve personal coaching. Is that a fair price? I think that is a small little fee when you consider that the average education of a person today costs $500,000. Universities often already taking $250,000 per student. For a tenth of that, here you're able to take the master key system in a way like it's never been taught before. We will, and I don't mean that pretentiously, it's through hard work. I mean, the first little video, we've spent over 500 hours already on it in the production, and that's just one of many thousands of hours to follow. So okay, one of the next videos, as much as I've been able to show a little bit of the Algarve today while speaking to you, then we're going to go inside, not today, in the next video, and we're going to show you the inside of VIP. We're going to show you some of our equipment. We're going to show you sort of as if you would come here on visit. Yes, we're a real company. Yes, we're working on a real product. We're not a Ponzi, we're not a money game, we're not an investment company. We're a private association of education where the student benefits in the overall growth of that association. So this also I want to let you know, as people now begin to purchase the master key system, and they actually purchase 24,000 credits. Anyone who is allocating more than $10,000 or euros into the VIP system is welcome to come visit us here. Now, is that saying that we don't want to welcome the other people? No, we definitely, we got infrastructure with hotels and apartments and everything we need to invite thousands and thousands of people who want to come visit us. But for right now, for the people who say, you know what, I'm going to invest 25,000 or I'm going to invest 50,000, I'd like to shake hands with the people that are behind it. I kind of want to see their location. Just ask, it doesn't make any difference in whose team these people are. We will welcome them, pick them up from the airport and show them around and make sure that they come back home feeling that they're making one of the best engagements of both money and time that they can do in their life. So that is an open invitation. In closing, we're using Facebook. Make sure you're in our Facebook group. I'll make sure it's under the video link, the YouTube link. Make sure you join our Facebook group. We've already got close to 10,000 people there. Ask the person who shares VIP with you, perhaps this video, ask him for the link so you can take a tour inside our software and the back office, where you actually will receive $5,000 of our demonstration money, and you'll be able to see how that works, how that can go to work for you immediately. Actually, if you were to purchase $5,000 worth of credits, how you would begin to make profit instantaneously, even if you never refer anybody. Oh, I'm glad there is a little bit of breeze. It helps to cool off the heat. So, Facebook group, our YouTube channel. Get subscribe. I never used to do that, subscribe to the YouTube channels. You know what that does? It makes sure that you get notified, like when there is a next video being uploaded, when there is a next event, you'll always have access to our YouTube channel. And then the third one is Skype. Skype is where we can also split it up into different language groups. We've got Hungarian Skypes, we've got German Skypes, Italian Skypes, Skypes in all the different languages where there is people present in those countries. Naturally, VIP will grow out to be the global university and will be available in all the major languages in the world. I do appreciate all of you attending on this Saturday afternoon here in October, it is, 2016. I feel blessed that we get to use this kind of technology to be able to beam straight into your home, hopefully straight into your hearts. I've enjoyed sharing this. Guys in the background, thank you for having been with me here to make this technically possible, and I can't wait to bring us our next step, which obviously our live classes truly is the most important thing. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Thank you.